Good afternoon. Got a tale today. Oh dear. Okay. Never mind. Let's power on. So I was in Paisley for the first time in my life. I've passed through on a train before, but I was in Paisley for work on Sunday, just past. It's Thursday today, and my pals and I we had a wee break from work, and from what we were doing there, and I kind of jokingly, half jokingly said, "I wonder if there's a CEX in Paisley," and knowing full well they probably would be, There was. We went to go get some food, and I went in. Did the kind of customary look in the window outside. Went in, looking in the cabinet, and I said, and I thought, fuck, I knew this place would have some good stuff. Like, small town, so not loads and loads of footfall, but enough of, I think when there's not as much of rotation, especially with retro stuff, I get the feeling that people are clearing out their attics or something, and stuff gets traded in but doesn't get picked up or something. I mean, I don't know if that's true, because in CEX, stuff can get bought online from anywhere. But I found some really good stuff in the CEX at the bottom of Leith Walk in Edinburgh, which is similarly kind of in a bit of an odd location. Anyway, I was like, oh yes, there's all this stuff. There's like N64 stuff. There's Super Nintendo. I was looking at like the bottom of the cabinet, and I was like standing up, and I came face to face with this, which is one of my most beloved games from my childhood, and prior to starting collecting, is really the only valuable game, a game that I knew was valuable, that I had a desire to own for the sake of its possession, not because of its value. Well, not entirely because of its value. I mean, the idea that it was both a favourite game of mine, and happened to be rare and valuable, it added to the mystique of it for sure. Now, the price, I remember when I first realised that it was an expensive game, I was probably in my teens, and I mean, let's start. So I first played this game when I was, I don't know, like probably before I was a teenager. A friend of mine had it. A friend of mine who had loads and loads of like countless PlayStation games, and this was one of them. And I played it. I absolutely loved it. I borrowed it off him multiple times. I played it a lot. He liked it as well. He'd remember this game. And when I first realised it was expensive, it was like worth a bit. You think you buy it for like 50 quid on eBay, and I was a teenager, probably about 15, something like that. So about over 10 years ago, anyway. It might have been younger than that. I don't know. And without telling him what it was worth, I was like, "Oh, do you mind if I buy that off you?" I bought it off him for a tenner. And he found out how much it was worth, and like jokingly was like, "Ah, you bastard." But the funny thing is, I played it, got bored of it, and I sold it back to him not that long after for, I think, a tenner, maybe 20 quid or something ridiculous. And I happen to know that he subsequently sold his whole PS1 collection for, I don't know, I don't even know where he sold it to. I think he might have traded the lot in, but this was, I think, before CEX, so it would have been to like a game store, which is game, or like electronics boutique or something, more more restrictive in terms of the stuff you can spend that on. It was just games. Maybe it was money they got for it, I don't know, but this copy probably got more or less given away, by him, by me, and then by him, his family again. So I've owned this game before, knowing that it was valuable, and when I developed a notion of wanting to have this game again, I was a bit older. In fact, it was only a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I thought, I will make a concession to this kind of possessive desire for this game because I love it so much, and it'll be my little not guilty because I was making a small concession, but it will be my one little indulgence in this kind of enjoying ownership and coveting an object, I suppose is the thing. And at that time it was 50, 60, 70, and that was not that long ago. Well, when I saw this in ZX and Paisley the other day, it has become more valuable still, quite considerably. When I saw it, I gasped, which is ridiculous, but I didn't expect to see it, and this is in really pretty good condition, and it's so colourful looking. It's really, it kind of visually just jumps out at you, and it really jumped out at me. Now here's an interesting thing. Manual's in decent condition. There's a few. Smells old. Smells a bit like cigarettes. I almost put that up to have a sniff. It's a thick manual. Don't remember seeing a manual like that. It's probably got it in like loads of languages. Yeah. Pentolare. And the picture disc, which I remember well. I mean, look at that. Not all games, in terms of their packaging and, look as good as this. And this is a really minor thing. But, I mean, even just the case here is in... you can see that I know that's really minor, and I could replace the case in quite good conscience. But it's really in pretty good condition. It's like it's never been played. It's in really good condition, and that was visible when I saw it. I was pretty taken aback. I was chatting to my friend about this yesterday when I was telling her the story of having seen this and considering at that time going back. And this is going to sound ridiculous, but when I was in Paris a few years ago, I was in the Musée d'Orsay, and I entered one of the rooms and was suddenly faced with the portrait of Marcel Proust, and I didn't know it was there. It hadn't crossed my mind that it might be there. It's not even a painting that I was especially fond of. I'd only seen it, printed in certain editions of In Search of Lost Time, but it was there. It was pretty astonishing. And it took me by surprise, and it was such a kind of this is becoming a very pretentious sounding video, but the word that I do want to use is serendipitous. Although maybe that implies a coincidence, it's not there. I saw a painting that I didn't expect to see. It wasn't anything, mystifying, but it was a surprise and a really enjoyable one. It was a really great feeling. It's ridiculous, but I got a kind of similar thing with seeing this game there. It was like, oh my god, it was like being faced, and it is. it's a memory thing. You know, I'm not gonna go all Proust about this. I think one could, but I won't today. But it was really special to find it there, and to see the price of it was like really kind of there was a dilemma. You know, it was a dilemma. You know, but I had a lot of CEX store credit from trading in a bunch of stuff last week. I said in the last video, I think, I have to move flat, and I'm going to end up spending quite a bit of money on that, so I traded a lot of stuff in that I was going to replace anyway, for reasons of condition or status. So like, so it would save me money by not spending any money in CEX long term, and third of all, it would cut down on the things I had to move. So I sold a lot of stuff, and I traded a lot of stuff, so I had a lot of CEX credit. So this was not going to cost me an enormous amount in terms of cash. It's funny, at the end of my last video I said, you know, this will only save me money by getting credit for it rather than cash. It will only save me money if I use the credit on things that I would have spent money on anyway. You know, which is generally the odd, you know, a tenner here, 15 quid there. I said you know, this idea of saving money by getting CEX credit didn't work if I was to blow it all on, I said then, Shining Force 3. I used that example because it was a game I saw in CEX for like £98. It's a game that I didn't even know existed before, but suddenly became interested in because, oh, it's valuable. Silly, I don't even have a Sega Saturn. I will not be buying that. But this is the thing, I kind of blew it by finding this game, because that's exactly what I did. I used all of the credit on this, and I traded a little bit more in as well. I got rid of the boxed Ocarina of Time, kept Majora's Mask, got rid of Breath of Fire, which was in crap condition, got rid of... I didn't get rid of an awful lot else actually, because they wouldn't take two N64 controllers, which is just as well, because they're in good condition playable wise. One of them had like a chip in it, and the other one had a like dirty cable, which I'll just clean. Anyway, so I blew it all in this game. I don't have any CX credit anymore, but I didn't spend a lot of money on it. In fact, I spent £13.30 on this in cash, which I'm very pleased with. And that other stuff, I'm in no rush to get back. None of it's rare, none of it's difficult to come by again. I'm in no rush for it, but this was an opportunity, and it was really exciting. So I was basically thinking, because I've got this, I had to move flat, I was like, can I afford to spend the money that I had to, which was, when I was thinking about it at the time, it was more than I ended up spending on it, because I didn't think I'm going to trade more in. I thought I'm going to have to make up the difference in cash, and I shouldn't be spending that money right now. So I was really, torn over whether to do it or not, and I mean, yeah. So I went along today. I didn't check online whether it was still in stock. I know that you can buy it online, but that's not fun. That's not the fun of it. I didn't check whether it was in stock. I took along the stuff to trade in, and if it was there, I would trade it in. It was there. I did trade it in, the stuff in. I did buy this, and I was so excited on the way. I have not been so excited by something in a long time, which is quite funny. And I surprisingly have no buyer's remorse whatsoever. I feel very pleased to have this, and I'm going to, I think I will play it, because I have played it on an emulator in the last few years. I think certainly played Tombi 2 on an emulator a few years. I had Tombi 2 back in the day as well. I bought it new. I remember I bought it in Ireland on holiday, and I couldn't play it until I got home, and that's valuable as well. I remember I saw it in CX for about £80 a while ago. Not as fond of Tombi 2, it's not the same game for sure. Where was I going? Yeah, I think I'll play this because, yeah, I mean, you know, there's few games that are so valuable that you need to like lock them up in a in a safe and never open it. But this is not that valuable. I want to look after it as much as possible, and it's going straight back in this envelope for now, which they graciously gave me at CEX to store it in. I will play it because I really look forward to playing it again. I haven't talked about the game at all. I mean, it's just the story which is exciting to me about having found it and kind of wrung my hands over whether or not to buy it. But it's maybe not interesting to anyone but myself, but it was a wee exciting journey for me. And well, journey. Anyway, that's probably all that is even slightly interesting to say about that at the moment. I suppose now, I mean, that's the most valuable game I have now, for sure. Unless there's some things I'm not aware of it, but I'm pretty sure that's like the valuable game I own now, which I suppose, you know, if I wasn't a collector before, yeah, I guess I am now. So, yeah, Tombi.